at a warehouse that kept Kern County Fire Department firefighters busy all afternoon and into the night. That was on Washington Street near Industrial Street. They have not said what was in the warehouse, but did say that it's the third fire at that warehouse. No injuries were being reported as of Sunday evening. The identity of a 60-year-old man who died in a wreck last week will be released at a later time by the Kern County Coroner's Office. The Highway Patrol says that fatal wreck happened on Highway 155 near Air Force Way Thursday evening about 5:15. When troopers got there, they found that the man had hit a tree, and they called for a chopper to take him to the hospital. The man died while waiting for the helicopter. They are still looking into why the wreck happened. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Please.
Mr. Flores, hand this up. Thank you very much.
I had 3 more seconds and I have the whole thing.
Just,
I was supposed to have 3 minutes.
sir, thank you. Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
I need to do. It's the JR Show from Studio 99 at the American General Media Complex. On air at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Online at kernradio.com. Now, here is your host, JR.
Top of the day to you. This is the JR Show. I am your host, JR Flores. You're listening to Kern Radio. Check us out online at kernradio.com. You can download the Kern Radio app to your smart device and take us anywhere you go. Plus, we're also streaming live on YouTube. Head over there right now. Look up Kern Radio, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And watch us from the Kern Radio studios. They are powered by Adaptive Networks for all your IT needs. Give them a call, 661-241-0638. That's 661-241-0638. It is Adaptive Networks. Welcome to the Monday show. Oh, did everybody have a good weekend? It's beautiful. Torrential rainfall that was over Bakersfield. Hey, I promise we do. We have a guest. No, it's not Faith Friday, but boy, Donald Trump really knows how to set him up, doesn't he? We will talk with Pastor Angelo Frazier as the president is now in a battle with the Pope. Not only that, but reposting a picture which some would say that depicts him as Jesus. Others would say, I think Trump said, no, it's more of me as like a doctor coming to heal people. And then there was what I've heard other people say on social media, also trying to defend it. We'll speak with Pastor Angelo Frazier on Trump's feud with the Pope, the Catholics, I guess, in general, the Christians, the followers of Jesus. Oh gosh, only Trump. And then we'll also have to discuss, obviously, the breaking news that we discussed at the end of Friday's show and developed over the weekend with now Congressman Eric Swalwell dropping out of the race for California governor, in which he was leading in the latest poll, at least for the Democratic Party. We'll discuss how that has all played out over the weekend and what it means. And Chris, you better leave the disclaimer up for the second hour. Just a fair warning right now. I'll even read that bad boy out loud before we start the second hour, because the Kern County Board of Supervisors has a meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. in which the district attorney has to go before them for a second time to try to seek an approval on the agreement of staffing the Family Justice Center. We will discuss how that, I think I positioned it as what we know and what we will learn tomorrow at 9 a.m. during the Board of Supervisors meeting. Tell all your friends. At 2 o'clock, we will break it down. And then what else are we discussing? A couple of other minor stories as well that we're following. The Coachella happened over the weekend. talk about that. Brittany's back in rehab. Oh my goodness. And bald eagles, not only the ones up north, but a sighting here locally in Kern County of a bald eagle. I'll tell you where that has happened. Had a great weekend. Like I said, the weather was great. On Saturday night, I got to host the Bakersfield Christian High School Key event. Thank you to Bakersfield Christian for inviting me to do that. It is an honor, as it has been the last few years, and just our partnership with Bakersfield Christian High School in general. It started a few years ago when we started to broadcast the home games for the varsity football team. And I'd like to say that since we have, Chris, the team has gotten better each and every year. This year, making it all the way to the state championship game. I think that's a big part in our because of our relationship and our expertise. And I'm just joking. We have nothing to do with the success that is Bakersfield Christian High School. We're just honored and thankful, grateful to be a partner in the things that they are doing over there. And it was a great event. Ran into a lot of listeners. Zell, I believe his name was, spoke to Zell and his buddy Randy as well. Randy had a great beard, stopped and said hello. And Jack, ran into Jack. Always good to see him. And a bunch of people. So it was a great time, always to raise money to help kids. And you guys have heard me talk about the importance of a Christian education. I am invested with my own daughter, and she is a third grader over at Stockdale Christian High School. And it's not just the level of education that she is receiving, but it's just being surrounded by believers and followers, which we'll get into a little bit when we talk with Pastor Angelo Frazier about the whole Trump debacle. But if you guys are looking for a Christian education or a private education, there's plenty of opportunities here and different opportunities from different schools. So look into it, see which one's the best fit for you and your kid, and budget and all that stuff that goes into it. But nights like that, the Key event, and even Stockdale Christian hosts one where it's raising money that night doesn't just go towards the school or helping build up a program or something. No, those nights go towards helping students that might not be able to afford an education, like my daughter. Trust me, if I wasn't receiving assistance, I probably wouldn't be able to afford to have my daughter in a Christian education. And there's still sacrifices on top of that I have to make. But it's nights like the Saturday night at the Key event that help raise money that goes towards assisting some of those kids that might not be able to afford it. It makes it a little bit easier to help in those kids getting that type of an education, for those that want to seek it anyways. What else happened over the weekend? The giant fire. My goodness. I was hanging out. My sister was in town from Vegas, and she was staying at a local hotel. And we were over there swimming. It wasn't too cold, but it wasn't too warm, and the pool was nice. So the kids were swimming, and I walked out to go pick up my suit for Saturday night of the hotel. And as soon as I walked out of the hotel, I see this huge plume of smoke in the sky. And you could not miss it from probably any part of town. And it burned. And what was a beautiful day, I always tell my daughter whenever we're driving through town or driving on the freeway or something, if you can see the mountains, especially to the east, if you can see those mountains, that means it's a clear day. Because there's some days where you can't see those mountains. You wouldn't even know those mountains were there. And every time they appear on those clear days when the wind is blowing and it blows all the smog out so you can actually see that they're there, I'm always reminded of how beautiful Kern County is. Look, there's mountains right there. It almost looks like Colorado or something. I've never been to Colorado, but I imagine if I did, that's what it would look like, especially when there's snow on the caps of them. And so that was ruined by a huge fire on the east side. I believe it was Mount Vernon or East Brundage, somewhere out there, Washington Street, some warehouse that not only has burned now this weekend for hours and hours and hours, but I've learned it's the third time that the warehouses on this facility have burned down. Now, you've heard me talk over the last couple of weeks. I think there's an arsonist. I really do. I think there's an arsonist walking around town. Heck, I spoke with the Bakersfield Fire Department 3 weeks ago now. I think I was going for a bike ride on a Sunday, and somebody had lit a dumpster on fire. I'm not saying who. I'm not making any accusations. Maybe the thing just combusted out of nowhere. It wasn't a particularly warm day or anything, but who knows? Maybe it just combusted just by itself out of nowhere, a dumpster. So I called 911, the fire department. Hey, come out. They came out. I said, hey, thanks, guys, for showing up. They said, yeah, thanks for calling. There's some guy we believe that is living around here setting these on fire. It's not the first one. And then the week after that, I'm coming home from none of your business. And at what time, none of your business. But I'm driving over the Mohawk bridge over the river and the bike trail. And I spot a fire in the brushes. What the heck? Pull over. Not that it was just one fire. It was a second fire across the trail from it. And then a third fire that was at the beginning of under the overpass. And then a fourth fire in the riverbed itself. So to tell me we don't have a firebug walking around this community, and I've noticed online, Kern County activities, that they've been posting along the highways, different fires being started all over town. And now on Saturday, a huge fire burns for half the day. And I swear there was a time just 2 years ago when a city councilman promised that he was going to fix this, that he was going to hire more arson investigators that would take care of the problem. And here we sit, still burning. Fires everywhere, all over town, every weekend. Summer hasn't even started. Just wait till fire season starts. Goodness gracious. Let's get to a break, Chris. On the other side, we'll talk about Eric Swalwell and his exit from the California governor's race. This after accusations. We were exiting the show on Friday when this came down. What was it in what paper put it out on Friday? The San Francisco Chronicle, I believe, dropped a report in which a former staffer is making claims of sexual assault and other things. The congressman has released a video last Friday. We'll play some of that. And then last night or yesterday announced that he is suspending his campaign for California governor. We'll discuss that. Plus, Pastor Angelo Frazier is going to stop by later in the program. We'll talk about Trump Jesus and his fight with the Pope. Plus, the Kern County Board of Supervisors has a meeting tomorrow morning. District Attorney goes before them for a second time seeking approval for staffing of the Family Justice Center. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that. 2 o'clock. Tell all your friends. Bald eagle sighting here in Kern County. Did Coachella live up to Coachella? The Masters took place over the weekend as well. Brittany's back in rehab. All that coming up. It's the JR Show. If you guys want to chime in, 661-842-5376, 661-842-KERN. You can call, you can text, you can jump in the chat on YouTube as well. It's Kern Radio. We'll be right back.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.
Oh. Y'all are quiet in the chats? Man, where y'all at? Quiet? Are we on? Check. Is this thing working?
Gotta go get me some more water.
Truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
Good
A
for you,
truck
Wesley.
driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleep night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Are you looking for a hospital that truly cares for your health and well-being? At Good Samaritan Hospital, they provide high-quality medical detox, psychiatric services, and medical and surgical care. They accept most insurances, including Medi-Cal, Medicare, and Kern Family. They offer Kern County's longest-standing inpatient detox program with dual diagnosis that combines medical care and withdrawal management all under one roof. Learn more at GoodSamaritanHospital.com or call 661-215-7500. Good Samaritan Hospital. They care for their community.
The Bakersfield Museum of Art is celebrating its 70th anniversary this year, and you're invited to 2 parties. On Friday, April 17th at 7 p.m., it's Art Mix After Dark, a party in the galleries and gardens with DJs, food trucks, creator lounges, and more. On Saturday, April 18th at 6 p.m., it's Past, Present, Future, a dinner and silent auction of more than 40 works of art. Tickets and sponsorships are available at bmoa.org.
The Ralph Bailey Show, weekdays at 3 p.m.
I am excited about the Artemis program and the fact that we're going back to the moon in 27 and going to set up a base in 28 and move on to Mars and begin deep space travel. And I hope the listener is wrong. I hope most folks are at least interested in what's going on, let alone being fascinated by it, but at least have some interest in the future in space.
The Ralph Bailey Show, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey. You're listening to the JR Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Keep it locked. TRBS coming up at 3.
Welcome back. It's the JR Show. I love the Beastie Boys. You know, there's certain songs that just harken back a memory, like a certain memory that will trigger it every single time. And every time I hear Brass Monkey, I'm reminded of grad night at Disneyland, right? And this is back when it was a true grad night at Disneyland. They let us stay up at Disneyland all night until 5, 6.
They gave us too.
Yeah, 5, 6 in the morning. We got
so
to
much
all
fun.
night. Now I think they kick them out by midnight or 2 a.m. or something like that.
We got to stay until like. No, we stayed until the sun broke.
Yeah.
5, 6.
Yeah, we were let into the park probably around 3 p.m. or something, and they let us stay till I think it was 6 a.m. or when they finally kicked us all out.
When did they change it now?
I have no idea.
That's
it's too bad for them, but
not the same.
And no, and now I think it's at California Adventure. It's not even at proper Disneyland. We were in proper Disneyland, and they had clubs like the Golden Horseshoe was a dance club. And the trolleys, the double-decker trolley that goes on Main Street had a DJ on it in a dance club.
That's how ours was too.
I mean, it was awesome. But there were still rides open, and we all decided to get on the Jungle Cruise and put a bunch of teenagers in the middle of the night on Jungle Cruise. And the guy, like, God love him, the skipper. We tell him, because he turns the lights on, and we're like, no, we want to ride in the dark, like turn the lights off of the Jungle Cruise. And he kind of does at one point, and then he's messing with us, and then we're going through, and he's shining the light, and he's like, if you look over here to the left, you'll see a brass monkey. And right on cue, all of us in the boat, without just jumping to a brass monkey. I mean, people are like, what is going on over there? But that's every time I hear Brass Monkey, I think of grad night at Disneyland on the Jungle Cruise. Sorry, it just takes me back. I won't share that again. I promise. I promise. But this is the JR Show. Pastor Angelo Frazier will come up in just a matter of moments after the break. We'll talk about Trump Jesus, if you don't know what we're speaking of. Trump reposted a picture of himself, some say is depicting himself as Jesus, and we'll break that down with the good pastor as the president and is also in a verbal fight with the Pope. So we'll talk to the pastor about that. But Eric Swalwell, congressman who is running for California governor, has decided to suspend his campaign. This after Friday in the San Francisco Chronicle putting out a report in which a former staffer of his is accusing him of sexually assaulting her on 2 different occasions when she was too intoxicated to consent, including a 2024 event back in April of 2024 at a charity event in New York. The staffer also claimed the alleged attack left her bruised and bleeding, and said she woke up naked next to him in a hotel room during a separate incident in 2019. At least 3 other women also accused the Democrat of sexual misconduct, CNN has reported. One woman said she also woke up naked next to him in a hotel following a drunken night out, while another claimed Swalwell sent her nudes on Snapchat after chatting about politics online. The Democratic congressman came out Friday with a video posted in which he is denying all of these claims. Here is Congressman and now former governor candidate Eric Swalwell.
A lot has been said about me today through anonymous allegations. And I thought it was important that you see and hear from me directly. These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. They did not happen. They have never happened. And I will fight them with everything that I have. They also come on the eve of an election where I have been the frontrunner candidate for governor in California. I do not suggest to you in any way that I'm perfect or that I'm a saint. I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past, but those mistakes are between me and my wife. And to her, I apologize deeply for putting her in this position. I also apologize to you if in any way you have doubted your support for me. But I think you know who I am. For over 20 years, I have served the public as a city councilman, as a member of Congress, and as a prosecutor who went to court on behalf of victims, particularly on behalf of sexual assault victims. That's who I am and have always been. This weekend, I'm going to spend time with my family and friends. And I appreciate those who have reached out to me to show support. And I look forward to updating you very soon.
Well, he did update yesterday on his social media, I believe it was X account, in which he has announced that he is suspending his campaign to become governor. And like he said, this comes on the heels of the election, and most polls have, at least in the last month or so, placed him atop of the Democratic candidates, at least, and within shot of both Republican candidates, Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton. Steve Hilton, I believe, was on the Clay and Buck show earlier this morning. He does admit wrongdoing. In that video, he says, look, I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes, but those are between myself and my wife. Now, I can only take that and go, it appears to me, at least, this is my opinion, that he is owning that something did happen. That I owe an apology to my wife for placing her in this position. That is him admitting some guilt. Not only that, I think now his defense is going to be, look, this was all consensual. Yeah, am I a hotshot politician? I kind of look good, the ladies might be attracted to me. I might take advantage of the position that I have to be able to convince women that, hey, look, I'm Eric Swalwell. And it also makes me question with the claims coming out that this woman claims the first incident happened in 2019, in which she woke up drunk or woke up not remembering what happened. She had got very intoxicated. She admits that with him, to which he doesn't remember how the night ended, only knows that she woke up with him in bed at a hotel. She kind of took half the blame for that. Look, I got drunk too, but then went back and hung out with him at an event which he was being honored at. So she knew he was being honored at the event and still decided to go out to the event. Not only that, but decided to go out with him after and still have drinks, considering what had happened before. We'll talk more about this in the 2 o'clock hour. Up next, Pastor Angelo Frazier talks about Trump Jesus and his fight with the Pope. We'll be right back. Is a good pastor here? My phone just went off.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington.
Oh, he's here.
President Trump says the American military blockade of Iranian ports has begun. The blockade underway as part of the president's effort to force Iran to open up the Strait of Hormuz. All this comes following a failure over the weekend by the U.S. and Iran to reach an agreement to end the war that has gone on now for more than 6 weeks. In the meantime, that fragile ceasefire continues to hold. Oil prices hovering just under $100 a barrel today after almost 24 hours of ceasefire talks coming to an end without an agreement. But U.S. stocks nevertheless held steady today on Wall Street, an indication that investors still see a chance to avoid a worst-case scenario for the global economy. At the closing bell, the Dow was up by 301 points, the NASDAQ up by 280, and the S&P 500 up about 69. This is SRN News.
Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis.
Trump
You should
Jesus
be aware
and
of
his fight with the
road
Pope.
work that's going on this week that will have some lanes shut down and could affect your commute. First, it's Highway 99, and that'll start tonight while paving work goes on. That'll be overnights through Thursday in the outside northbound lanes. Then Thursday and Friday, Weibel Road between Brundage Lane and Bell Terrace, all lanes, all day. The name of a person shot and killed Friday night by Kern County deputies on Highway 58 has not yet been made public. Those deputies say that happened after someone was shot on South Pepper Drive, and they chased the suspect who later crashed. They have not said exactly what happened other than the suspect ended up shot and killed. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1.
But that's why I'm okay with him staying a congressman until it gets
Kern Radio,
figured out
News
until
Talk
the investigation
96.1
comes.
and AM 1230.
Guilty. Yeah, that's crazy.
Let's be honest, money can feel overwhelming. Markets change, life changes, and most people are left wondering, am I actually on track?
I think he's guilty of stepping out on his wife, which I think makes sure. Some guys dress up like women that want to help.
We help people simplify the complex, make smart financial decisions, and move forward with confidence.
I mean, I got plenty of things to fight about with the Pope and the Catholic Church. Don't get me wrong.
Transitions, we're just getting organized and knowing where you stand. And now you can find us in a new home, historic Woolworths building, right in downtown Bakersfield. MoneyWise, clear advice, local roots. Learn more at moneywiseguys.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through LPL Financial, and money life management are independently owned and operated.
First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Tuesday edition of the First Look program, we got water issues, and who better to discuss them with than the best in the business, Lois Henry, SJB.org. We'll also have news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and also AM 1230 and streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Yes, you can. Here. He likes his headphones, Chris. He likes his. So welcome back. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if we have other parents.
I'll find you some. We'll try to find you some. Welcome back. This is the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. Check us out online, kernradio.com. Also, social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X. Just look up Kern Radio, streaming live on YouTube. You can watch us from the Kern Radio studios. Just search up Kern Radio on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and watch us right here. Yeah. And then you'll see Pastor Angelo Frazier in all of his glory with his bald eagle T-shirt and his make Iran Persia again. Can we make Jesus again and not Trump Jesus again? Welcome to the show, Pastor Angelo. Yeah, you're on. I can hear you.
Hey, welcome. Hey, it's good to be here with you, and blessings to you and your family.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And blessings to you as well. Hope you had a happy Resurrection Day.
We sure did. We had a great day. We had a good turnout, and we had 35 baptisms too at the end of service.
Yeah, you were here the weekend before, and I told you I'm not. So I decided I'm not calling it Easter anymore.
Yeah,
I'm calling it Resurrection Sunday, and that's it.
But you got to know the word Easter comes from the word Passover. Did you know that? You didn't know that.
Okay.
The root word of Easter comes from Passover. Passover was when
I know what Passover was.
Okay, well, that's where it came from. So you think it's old pagan.
But
it's not.
Because we don't.
It's used paganly.
Yes.
But the root is Passover. That's not pagan, buddy.
But they have hijacked it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of hijacking going on.
Just as, in my opinion, Trump sometimes tries to hijack the Christianity and religion and uses it for his agenda, which he kind of did. He reposted the picture of him, which some people would say is depicting himself as Jesus. Now, I think I heard Trump describe it
as he's a healer and all this.
Yeah,
stuff.
because he was getting, I don't know if you realized when he was getting an Uber Eats or DoorDash or something from McDonald's to the White House today.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they asked about this, and he was like, well, it's really me as a doctor, like a healer.
And I'm a healer of people.
And I'm a healer of people.
The difficulty now and where we are, we're in these knee-jerk reactions. You put a picture out there, everybody, depending on if you're on the MAGA side, you're this. If you're on the other side, everybody has the idea what it is.
Yes,
and
I agree with you on that.
And so some of it is just keeping the news cycle going. You know, and if Donald Trump sat down and said, or anybody else sat down and said, I really am Jesus reincarnated, that to me would be a problem.
I don't think he'll ever go that far. Well, I believe he's narcissist enough to sometimes maybe think that he is.
I think the office of president, there are certain things infused in that office where you have the control of a button. If you don't have good, strong people around you, it can get away from you. I don't care who you are. I mean, you look at Kennedy was doing some great things, but he was also, having women going in and out of the White House door.
Yes, he was.
So this is, I think, when we get these offices, it's not just the president anymore. It's the people around him, the accountability. And that's what we will pray for.
Well, that's what scares me with Trump, though, because sometimes he does surround himself with people that are just going to say yes.
Yeah, well, if you
don't, he boots you.
You got that in every profession. Every profession. No profession is immune for that. But what we can pray for as believers, pray that not only that the leader would do the right thing, but there'll be people around him that would confront him on those things and say, brother, you need to pull this back. And there have been those things that have happened too as well. I think these things hurt us as a country, these tweets and these things and going after the Pope. And I mean, the Pope, you think what the Pope is doing. I mean, the Pope went after Obama and everybody else when it comes to war.
Yes,
and I get that.
That's the Catholic Church.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Just but then you can go after the policies, but when you start attacking people, this is where this is going to come from.
I don't think the Pope attacked Trump
I'm not saying
personally.
He is, but it's some of the things that have been said are attacking him personally, but they're kind of hiding it in the policies. And so I think the bottom line should be, yes, we can disagree with policies and principles and those kind of things, but I think if you're the Pope and you're speaking at key times, you're going to automatically get thrown in that mix. I think you have to resist those key times. I remember the former police chief here at Bakersfield Police. He told me one time he's asked a lot of questions wherever he goes. he said there's certain things I have to realize I can't say
Yes.
now. And I think leaders
In
have
his
to,
office, yeah.
you need to
The
follow
same
that
way
thing.
you can apply that to the
Yeah.
Pope, though, I can apply that to
Exactly.
Trump and say,
Exactly.
well,
Same
maybe
thing.
you shouldn't put that post out about the
Yeah,
Pope,
yeah,
or maybe
exactly.
you shouldn't have
Exactly.
put out that
Right.
picture
That is
yesterday
that is
afternoon.
not helpful for humanity.
No.
I'll say it.
Yes.
Not helpful for humanity.
It's not helpful for him either,
It
as
is,
far
it's
as
not.
his campaign,
It
as far
reflects
as
bad.
well, yeah, because as a Christian, and I can't speak for Catholics and Catholicism and him going after the Pope and how they should feel about that.
But we're in a season of accusations. You were talking earlier segment, man. All you got to do is throw an accusation up, and boy, it just people lose their minds. And I thought we had a principle where, innocent until proven guilty. Again, I don't have to agree with the behavior that's being presented, but I still think the time-honored principle about innocent and proven guilty. Now, I don't know what was behind this picture that Trump put up. I just know what people are saying about it, and boy, that happens like firecrackers. You didn't have to give an explanation. You just stick something up there, like the pictures of Trump being Hitler, all that stuff. What it's just that too. I mean, you go to the extreme. Is Donald Trump Hitler?
No,
but
he ain't Jesus either.
Well, I don't think he is. I would agree with you in that. There's only one Jesus.
If I had to say which one he's closer to, don't make me go there.
He said it on the JR show, or he implied it on the JR show.
Disclaimer's not up anymore.
I can just think somebody might be offended at your symbol one day and say, "Oh, JR, you need to take that down because it bothers me psychologically." See, this is where we're going. We need to have substantive discussions about that.
I agree. I am not one that is easily offended. I am not. Like, I have thick skin. I grew up on the south side of Bakersfield. I grew up with a family that is very quick-witted and and it's helped me in my career here, obviously in radio, because I tried to think of myself as being quick-witted. But if you weren't quick, you got stepped on.
Right,
So
I
have a thick skin.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that people do or say or post or act in a certain way that don't necessarily offend me, right? But I can look at it from an objectional standpoint and say, yeah, I'm not okay with that.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I can look at it even from a political spectrum of because like you stated, it happens where depending on what side you fall on, you've already come up with what your point of how you feel about it is. Where I feel, at least me objectionally, I can look at things and compartmentalize it and go, okay, this is this single incident, and how do I feel about it?
Exactly. But when somebody puts that picture up, I saw the other night where one guy gets on there and all MAGAs of the devil.
Yeah.
All MAGA?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, all MAGA? I mean, MAGA isn't a myopic group. I mean, they don't all think the same.
Well, I saw somebody post and say, "Oh, now all you Christians and Catholics are quiet all of a sudden and not even calling out Trump or blah 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 blah." And I think whenever you place people into groups and say this is the label for the whole group,
which I think is wrong.
Yes,
I think it's wrong. Look, people can do crazy and stupid things.
They do.
I don't have to. And that's why my trust is not in man, it's in Jesus.
Amen to that, Pastor.
It's in God we trust.
Yes, sir.
Not in man, not in politics, not in education. It's in God we trust. By the way, the anniversary is coming up, the 7th anniversary of In God We Trust. It's coming up July 30th here in Bakersfield. Shannon Grove is going to be our keynote speaker.
Love Shannon.
So yeah, I know everybody loves Shannon. It's going to be here in God We Trust. And we're going to do rededicate our city to One Nation Under God on the 17th. We have a prayer rally out there at the Liberty Bell, so you can come, bring your daughter.
Should we? How do we as believers and Christian move through politics like this?
I think the one thing we have to do is stick with substance. See, we have to avoid jumping on one side or the other, because people will text me and say, "Why don't you say anybody? And why don't you go down to the school board and let's say nail Kathy or do?" And I go, "No, you don't get to determine my morality, and I get to do that.
Right.
But I want to be consistent, and I don't speak about all things, and I don't have time to. But I think I can encourage other people. If you're passionate about something, if you really then go to the substance of it, not these little things that pop up, because you will drive yourself crazy and wind up in the hospital going after these little tentacles. Go after substance. Go after the policies that are there. What are the policies that are being obstructed, not this fluff. And the fluff is ugly. I agree with you.
It is, yeah.
I don't like it. I just
I
think
wish he would stay out of it. I wish the president would stay out of it.
I sure wish you did. But what we can do is what is really going on in the substance. And that's what I encourage believers to do, and not to get swayed on the left or the right. You don't have to feel you have to hold the pitchfork just because, the Swirl thing. Everybody's, they're piling on everybody. People from years ago, he touched me in an elevator. And that happens in our society. In fact, we don't have to join into that, even though we don't approve of the behavior, but we want to be the sensible voice. Bad behavior is bad, but it still needs to be proven.
Yeah, you can't just make accusations on people.
Well, in today's society, you can.
I mean, you can, but you better have the receipts.
You really don't have to have the receipts anymore. You can just have, if you're credible, if you give you do enough, you can wait 50 years or 60 years and say so.
Do churches address this? Should they address this?
I think churches, where I believe, churches should address the substantive things, issues that are happening, not all the tentacle stuff. The tentacle stuff comes and goes. It'll be the newest headline will be something else tomorrow. But the tentacle stuff, the issue of a just war and those things, because we're in the middle of war.
Yes, we are.
Not any specifics, just necessarily Israel or Ukraine and all those kind of things. There's a lot of stuff going on. But what does the Bible say about that? And where do we stand on that? We believe, I've had people calling me, you stand for Israel because Israel's killing babies. That's not the goal that they're doing. But yes, children are being killed.
Yes, they are.
But that's not the point. I can tell you that on the other side, that is the point. They value life way differently than we do. And we just happen to be in a war where two different philosophies of life are hitting each other. And you're right. Because whereas Israel will call and say, we're going to bomb a building at 2:00, the other side will say, great, we'll go put women and children. And we saw that in Iran. When they're going to bomb the oil, the island, they called on the citizens of the people to go, and women and children jumped and stood around those power plants.
Yeah, and I read it on social media where the people are accusing Israel and of committing genocide and this and that. But I always think about it, I go, where is your moral compass, though, when it comes back the other way in judging Iran and the genocide that they're committing against their own people?
And that's why I said be consistent with the substance. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They just slaughtered Iran 40,000 people, roughly. And they showed the guys in the street with the hoses wiping the blood off of the street. Well, that blood didn't come from peaceful protesters, did it?
No, they were killing protesters before the war.
Killing everybody. And so the bottom line, be consistent in your substance. And then that way we can say killing innocent people we believe is wrong. And those people that put those in there are wrong for doing it. But yes, collateral does kill innocent people.
So I shouldn't let this picture bother me.
No, I
shouldn't let Trump Jesus bother me.
No, absolutely. I mean, he can bother you all you want, but I think
shouldn't put it above the other picture of Jesus in my.
You can do that, but I think what I do is mail it back to the White House. Is this you?
There used to be a thing where people would have a picture of Jesus and the president in the same.
I remember that.
You remember that?
I remember that. They even had Bill Clinton in the president one time. So part of the deal is that we're in a society where social media is used to kind of ignite people and get people going. And I get that. I appreciate that we have the ability. But look, there are 50,000 Christians in Nigeria that were slaughtered. You don't see anything about that. And I just came from Nigeria.
Yes.
32,000 churches are burned. And before we left, 26 Christians were slaughtered on. And then Easter Sunday, they were slaughtered when we left. So you don't see any memes about that. You don't hear anything about Boko Haram.
Then why does the president post that?
Instead
of saying, here's Trump Jesus.
He actually had posted behind the scenes. Basically, he told Nigeria, if you don't get your act together and stop killing Christians, we're going to intervene. He actually has done that. Yeah. It hasn't been. See, this is what you don't hear. Certain things make the front. He's actually done that. There are people over there that are negotiating about how to get rid of Boko Haram and Hamas and all these guys. These terror groups have infiltrated these societies. That's why it's so hard. And that's why when you bomb them, you're going to, innocent people are going to be killed. That's exactly why. And they did it that way intentionally.
He took the picture down.
He did. And good. That means he's listening. That's awesome. That's good. You know, how many mistakes have you made? And somebody came and said, JR, man, you probably need to, yeah, you know, you probably, now that I think about it, that's kind of dumb. That's all right.
No, I'm hard-headed. It takes me at least like 2 weeks.
Yeah, well,
at least 2 weeks.
I mean, you know, and look, I think, look at, I don't know if I'd want to be the president of the United States. I pray for him. I pray for his cabinet. I pray for the people around him and the decisions that have to be made. And he's a man just like any other man. Cyrus, who freed the Jews, who let the Jews go back to their own thing. He wasn't even a believer.
I'm just glad you didn't come in and try to defend. I saw somebody try to defend it.
Defend what?
The Trump Jesus picture.
And
they tried to, but they tried to pass it off as, you know, the Holy Spirit is supposed to live in all of us. And if we're truly living out the way that Jesus wants us to live, then yes, we all would be depicted like if we were walking like and acting like Jesus.
So we can put a picture of Jim Jones up there and say the same thing as he's molesting a little girl. Now, look, it's just not good taste. It's just not.
Thank you.
It's just not good taste. It doesn't help us as humanity. Matter of fact, it sets us back, and I just don't think that's helpful. I don't think the office of the president moves forward with stuff like this, and this is where we need to get back to the office of the president.
Amen to that. I will pray and amen to that. Look, there it is on the picture right there.
There it is. Yeah.
Everybody's talking about it, Pastor.
Yeah, you know, and it's good radio, it's good TV, but we need to get back to being presidential. And that's, if I could talk to President Donald Trump, I'd say, hey, I'm just as flawed as you are, but let's get back to being presidential, because you're in a key place where you can move this country forward. You got wars going on, you got people coming after you. Hey,
there's a lot more things for you to focus on. Than
Picture
this.
yourself with Jesus with his hand on your shoulder. I love that one. I love that one, because that's where I picture Jesus, you know, incurring you or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that right there will lift this country forward, because there are a lot of people believe that God's hand is on him. And to a certain extent, when God is moving through his hand is on people.
I think God's hands is on everybody. Yeah, I think God's hands is on everybody.
Yeah,
it's whether or not you choose to allow him to push you in the right direction.
Exactly. He used Cyrus. Cyrus wasn't a believer.
Well, I mean, yeah. He used King David, and he was an adulteress and a murderer. So I mean,
no, just kidding. Yeah, he did. He was a man after God's own heart. So I think we don't want to get stuck in the weeds, but we want to take a look at and go back to just, you know, just like anything else. When your kid goes sideways, bring him back in.
Moses was also a murderer.
Yeah, Moses got his hands dirty too. Yeah. And what happened? You bring him back in.
You bring him back in.
But then there were consequences for certain behavior.
The prodigal son returns.
Yeah. David couldn't build the temple.
David couldn't build the temple, and Moses couldn't get into the promised land.
So I think all those things are there for God to decide. But for us, we can say, that to me is kind of out of bounds. So let's go back to the basics.
Don't let it affect my day to day.
No,
and definitely don't let it affect my faith.
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, it reminds us that our faith is not in this stuff. Yes. Our faith is in Christ. You know, we see bombs going off in Israel and Ukraine, and the kids in the streets and all that. Man, it breaks your heart.
Oh yeah.
But our faith is not in the bombs. It's in Christ.
That's right.
To bring this to a head, because I think about the healing. I think about making Iran, Persia. By the way, this was Persia was the first real democracy. By the way, it was the first real democracy. Did you know that?
I did not know
Cyrus,
that.
The whole cylinder of Cyrus. He wrote this was the real first step in human democracy and freedom. He took all those cultures, and instead of having them fight against each other, he said, "Let everybody live freely." Boom. Boom. Let them all live freely. Jews, go back. Matter of fact, we're going to help you build your temple. He wasn't even a believer. He was the first in human democracy to lay down, to let societies go. Darius comes in after him and capitalizes on that, builds it, and they were the first thriving democracy.
Interesting.
And until the Ayatollahs came in and said, it snapped and turned it into a burqa kind of a deal going on. But
pastor and historian right here.
You got to be, but don't get blinded by the weeds. Stay with the substance.
Stay with the substance. I won't comment about weeds.
You
Got to get to a
commented about it,
break.
but it ain't gonna change.
Thanks, Pastor Angelo Frazier. Appreciate you coming by, sir.
Thank you, Mr. JR. It's an honor to be here with you in this sacred place here in Bakersfield, California.
I got to get to a break. On the other side, we'll read some of your questions and comments. Plus, in the second hour, the supervisors have a meeting tomorrow. We'll tell you what they are going to discuss. We better put the disclaimer back up. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. We'll be right back.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. The Ralph Bailey Show, weekdays at 3 p.m.
I may be the Bush when it comes to sporting events, but I am the self-anointed political prophet. I told you there'd be an 11th hour negotiation. I told you the bombs would not be flying at 5:01. There's no way he's going to commit an international crime, particularly now that the Iranians put women and children around their electrical grids.
The Ralph Bailey Show, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Are gas prices the final straw to break the camel's back? Are you drowning in debt so that more gas means you can't pay for other essential stuff? Are you getting collection calls, emails, and texts on credit cards, medical debt, loans, buy now, pay later, and so forth? The attorneys at Clean Slate BK Group have a solution to make the nightmare go away. CSBK can stop the harassment, get rid of the balances, maybe even get your car payment reduced, and get you reset in the right financial direction for a fraction of the time and money of a debt settlement program. A Chapter 7 BK takes about 6 months, and at the end, the financial straws will be off your back. Log on to CSBK.com and read what real people just like you have to say about what CSBK has done for them. This is an attorney advertisement. Your results may vary, and prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. Clean Slate BK Group PC, located at 7 Penn Plaza, Suite 601, New York, 10001, is responsible for the content of this ad. For more information, visit CSBK.com. That's CSBK.com to end your financial nightmares.
When the dollar's convertibility into gold ended in 1971, gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. Fast forward to today, and the U.S. dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold has increased in value by over 12,000%. Central banks are buying gold at record levels. Major firms are holding significant positions in gold. And I choose to buy gold from Birch Gold Group.
Hello. What's up, Sergio? Showed up early for Angelo. Hey, he was actually. I liked what he had to say, but yes, don't hijack my Jesus. Mary, how is Howard doing? Is he out? Let us know how Howard is doing, please. People are fleeing MAGA, Angelo. Yeah, but Trump's own cabinet held him as Jesus. The tentacles are still connected to the octopus.
He's got water issues, and who better to discuss them with than the best in the business? Lois Henry, SJBwater.org. We'll also have news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here. 96.1 and 12:30. Radio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230.
Need those hair ties.
On News Talk 96.1 and AM 12.
I'm all tangled up.
And keep it locked. TRBS coming up at 3.
It's just me, myself, and I. Welcome back. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. I want to thank Pastor Angelo Frazier for stopping by and discussing what the hot topic is today, at least, with Trump reposting a picture of himself as Jesus and then taking. Did you see the thing where he did I think it was DoorDash or whatever, to the White House with the McDonald's delivery? He was talking about no taxes on tips, apparently, but yeah, the reporters are going to ask him about this. And he tried to pass and say, well, it's really me as just, almost like a doctor, like a healer. I'm healing the people. And I think at one point he even turned to the DoorDash lady that was there to deliver the food and talk about no tax. He asked her something and she's like, I don't know, Donald. I'm just here to talk about no taxes for tips, really. Don't drag me into this mess, please. Oh, goodness. Anything on the text line before we go to the next hour, sir? 661-842-5376. Oh yeah, Bear. Somebody in the YouTube chat was saying that the tentacles, even though, are still connected to the octopus. So just be careful there. And I'm at least glad he said that. Look, it's not good. He should just stop doing it, and he does need to stop doing it. Just Donald, just please. And those are the times that I dislike him the most. It's like, just stick to the freaking just stick to the facts, dude. Stick to policy. The things that the president should be focused on. Don't get in a fight with the Pope. It's not going to serve you any good at all. Trust me, I have plenty of issues with the Catholicism and the Catholic Church and all the scandals that they've been a part of over the years. There's plenty. But don't pick a fight with the Catholic community. It's not going to serve you well. On the other side, we'll talk about tomorrow's 9 a.m. Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. The district attorney will be there again. Well, not her herself. She's going to send minions. I'll tell you about it next. Don't go anywhere.
Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump's social media site has removed an AI-generated image depicting the president as Jesus Christ.
In the image, the president is shown in a long white robe with a burst of light emitting from one of his hands. The other hand is placed on the forehead of an ailing man. After the social media post was taken down, the president spoke to reporters.
It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
He accused the press of causing the controversy, but conservative Christians and other Republican allies of the president had denounced the image as offensive and blasphemous. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Speaking with reporters today, President Trump says the U.S. has begun blockading the Strait of Hormuz.
We can't let a country blackmail or extort the world, because that's what they're doing. They're really blackmailing the world. We're not going to let that happen.
Trump's statement on Monday was part of his effort to force Tehran to open the Strait of Hormuz and accept a deal to end the war that has raged for more than 6 weeks. Iran responded with threats on all ports in the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, taking aim at U.S. allied countries. Soybean farmer Doug Bartek says he's being squeezed further by tariffs and the Iran war.
During the heat of the war here just a few weeks ago, again, we'd had price locked in at $400 a ton. Even though there was product sitting in tanks already, some suppliers had gone up to $600 a ton. And to me, that's just nothing more than price gouging. The product is there. It's in their tanks. I just don't understand. And granted, I know times have changed.
On Wall Street, the Dow up by 301 points. The Nasdaq rose 280. The S&P 500 advanced 69. More at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Kirk Cameron. Is health insurance eating up your budget for 2026? If you're looking for ways to better steward your finances, consider this. Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's a health insurance alternative at half the cost. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. While insurance companies tell you when to join, what to pay, and where to go, CHM is different. As a ministry, CHM allows you to share the burden of medical bills with other Christians. You can enroll, switch programs, or leave at any time. Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's a world of difference. CHM has 4 flexible programs. You can pick any certified doctor, surgeon, or hospital that you want for eligible care. So make the switch. Take your paycheck back from health insurance this year. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update.
The closures on Highway 99 start tonight. I'm Chris Davis. In exchange for you putting up with the overnight closures that go from tonight through Thursday night, you'll get a nice new reinforced surface on northbound 99 outside lanes in Bakersfield. The closures start at 9 and go through 6 a.m. Weibel Road also has some closures coming, and those are during the day, Thursday and Friday, from 7 a.m. through 4 p.m. each day between Brundage Lane and Bell Terrace. Crews there will be doing some paving and some inspection work. No ID yet on a person who was shot and killed by Kern County deputies after they say the person shot someone Friday evening on South Pepper Drive. They chased that person's car until it became unsafe, and then they called it off. Then they say the person wrecked on Highway 58. Deputies rushed to the scene and confronted the suspect, and according to the sheriff's office, the suspect was shot and killed. Little other info has been released yet about the incident. Some info is now coming from the Highway Patrol about a wreck that happened Thursday on Highway 155 west of Air Force Way about 5:15 p.m. They say it was a single-car wreck and that a 60-year-old man ran off the road and hit a tree in a curve. They don't know exactly why yet, and the info that was released this weekend did not include that man's name. That will come later from the Kern County Coroner's Office. The sirens wailed Saturday afternoon as fire trucks rushed to the scene of a warehouse fire on Washington Street near the intersection with Industrial Street. And Kern County firefighters say this is the third time that warehouse has been on fire. It wasn't clear what was inside, but the fire made a huge and tall plume of smoke that could be seen all around the city. They fought that fire into the night, but no one was reported hurt. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Please.
Flores, time this up. Thank you very much.
I had 3 more seconds and I had the whole thing. I was supposed to have 3 minutes.
Sir, thank you. Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
It's the JR Show from Studio 99 at the American General Media Complex. On air at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Online at kernradio.com. Now, here is your host, JR.
Welcome back. Hour 2 of the program. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. Check us out online, kernradio.com. Download the Kern Radio app to your smart device. Plus, watch us streaming live on YouTube. That's right. Head over there right now and search up Kern Radio. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Watch us from the Kern Radio studios. They're powered by Adaptive Networks for all your IT needs. Give them a call, 661-241-0638. That's 661-241-0638. Locally owned and operated. It is Adaptive Networks. I want to thank Pastor Angelo Frazier for coming in during the last half hour to discuss what is the hot topic of the day, the picture that the president reposted himself of let's just say it's him depicting Jesus. He put it up and it looks like he's Jesus healing somebody in the news break. And I said it before the news break. He tried to tell people it's more like I'm a doctor. I'm healing people. I'm helping people get better. And I have been helping people get better, but the president sometimes it makes it very, very hard to say, hey, look, there's these other things that he is doing that are really, really, really good. And he just draws attention away from those things when he does knucklehead things like that. And I wish there was more people around him that would say, hey, man, probably don't post things so much, President. Just let us have the phone. Let us take care of your social media accounts, please. Goodness gracious. We will talk with the disclaimers up, right, Chris? Oh, yeah, okay. Just want to make sure, because I want to make it clear that the opinions that JR is about to, I don't even know if most of them aren't even going to be opinions. It's just going to be straight up facts, public information. So please don't try to sue me again. The Kern County Board of Supervisors have a meeting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., in which time the Kern County District Attorney's office will show up again. I'm not sure if they're going to do a presentation this time. We'll find out. But the hopes are that they get an agreement or an approval from the Board of Supervisors on the agreement between the District Attorney and Bakersfield Recovery Services to be able to staff the Kern Justice Family Center in which they will provide services to sexual assault and domestic violence victims. That service was once provided by the Open Door Network, another nonprofit here in town. Yes, I have 2 hours now. Thank you. Now, the district attorney cut ties with the Open Door Network over what the district attorney claimed were improper comments and remarks made by the executive director of the Open Door Network. I'm just trying to catch everybody up to speed so we all know what's going to happen tomorrow and the whole backstory of it all. Can't assume that all of you know what's going on. So she cut ties because she said, oh, she was talking about a local case in which child abuse took place, Genesis Mata. She also the district attorney made reference to another case involving a CSUB basketball coach and pimping allegations. The Open Door Network allegedly spoke on both of those, which the district attorney wasn't happy with, sent her a letter telling her to stop doing that. Some people believe that it was actually because the executive director of the Open Door Network is supporting Christina Scrivener, the mother of the children of former Kern County Supervisor Zach Scrivener, who is also the nephew of the district attorney. Gets very confusing here, I know. He was accused of doing a lot of bad things in which he is seeking mental health diversion for, and will never spend a day in jail if he completes this mental health diversion. What does this all have to do with tomorrow's meeting, JR? Let me get to that. Bakersfield Recovery Services is seeking a new agreement in which they are going to provide these services for what was said at the last meeting, $75,000 a year for the next 2 years for a service that the Open Door Network charged us $0 for. So now you get the office, the free office, all that, and you're going to get $75,000 a year. Okay. Now, the reason the district attorney has to come a second time to the Board of Supervisors to approve this agreement is because the first time this happened 2 weeks ago, there were 4 Kern County supervisors in attendance. One of them, Kern County Supervisor David Couch, was absent at that meeting, leaving only 4 supervisors. This item comes up on the agenda, and before it could even be discussed, 2 of the Kern County supervisors, Chris Parlier and Jeff Flores, recused themselves, citing the Levin Act. What's the Levin Act? The Levin Act is in California states that elected officials who have received $500 or more in the past 12 months from somebody seeking a contract that is not an open bid cannot take vote on approval of that contract. So Jeff Flores and both Chris Parlier said, I have a problem. I've taken money over $500. And if you want me to be specific, I can pull up records here of how much these men actually taken from people that are operating or affiliated with Bakersfield Recovery Services. Not only because, again, the web gets very wide here. The same group of people that operate Bakersfield Recovery Services also operate a slew of other healthcare providers here in town. Not only healthcare providers, but real estate companies, in which they have donated to the campaigns of, obviously, Chris Parlier, who recused himself, and Jeff Flores, over the amount of $500 in accordance with the Levin Act in the past 12 months. Both are up for re-election for Kern County Supervisor. Now, because we didn't have a quorum, as they call it, meaning you have to have a majority of the supervisors to be able to take a vote on something. Well, we only have 2 supervisors left at that meeting anyways. Philip Peters, who, according to contribution records, thankfully to him, he's not running for re-election, but in his campaign for election in 2024, he also took campaign contributions from this same group of people that operate Bakersfield Recovery Services. It's on his forms. It's not opinion, it's fact, and it's public record. As well as our district attorney, Cynthia Zimmer, who, for her re-election campaign, took thousands and thousands, to a point where it was, I wrote it down, 15% of her campaign contributions came from the same group. Now, that was over 12 months ago, so she doesn't have to recuse herself. Same thing with Philip Peters. It was over 12 months ago, so he doesn't have to recuse himself. But the hopes were, when David Couch comes back at the next meeting, hopefully he won't have to recuse himself, and we can have a quorum. We can all say yes, and this just goes away and nobody talks about it again. Well, guess what? Supervisor David Couch, I believe, is back, but he'll have to recuse himself too, because he, although isn't running for election of Kern County Supervisor, he is running to replace Assemblyman Stan Ellis. And guess who he's also taken campaign contributions from? The same group of people that run Bakersfield Recovery Services. So he's going to have to recuse himself. And now you're back to square one where we don't have quorum. What's going to happen, JR? Well, one of 2 things are going to happen tomorrow. They're either going to have to say, okay, I recuse myself again. I do too. Hey, me too. Hey, I don't have to. That was over 12 months ago, but whatever. So the option at that point is we get a hat. I have one right here. They can borrow. We get a hat and we put the names of those who had to recuse themselves, David Couch, Jeff Flores, Chris Parlier, and we put them into the hat and we draw a name out, and whatever name comes out has to take the vote, regardless of conflict of interest. That's one way to do it. Now, the other way is that in order for them not to have to recuse themselves, and this goes to the last meeting as well, when there was a glitch in the way that this was entered and approved for the meeting. The Levin Act states that if the contract is actually an open bid contract, meaning that it wasn't just a sole source contract, meaning they didn't go to other nonprofits to seek any other proposals of, hey, we would like to maybe throw our hat in the rink and see if we could, maybe staff the Family Justice Center. And so if they come back tomorrow and say, hey, that glitch last time, it wasn't supposed to be that way. We actually meant for this to be an open request, not a sole provider. And so therefore, we have done the steps to now make this open request, even though the signatures on the agreement all the way from the back in the beginning of March. We opened it back up after that to other people to say, hey, would you like to submit your name? Even though we've already selected somebody. Would you like to put your name in? And so if they come back tomorrow and say, hey, we've looked around and we still believe that Bakersfield Recovery Services is the best option, bada boom, bada boom, nobody has to recuse themselves anymore. Wow, look at that. And I wonder if any of the 4 that have taken campaign contributions from these gentlemen over the last 4 years, will any of them ask the question? And I hope Leticia Perez, the only supervisor that hasn't, or at least from my investigating of campaign contributions, doesn't appear to have taken money from any of these people that run Bakersfield Recovery Services. Will she at least get up and ask, hey, can I see the list of other providers that maybe also wanted to staff the Family Justice Center? Is there a list of other people that you talked to maybe? Does that exist? Do you think we could take a look at that? No? Okay. Let's all move on. Agreement signed. Nobody else is going to say anything about it ever again. And hopefully this segment doesn't get me sued. We put up the disclaimer though, so at least we have that for us going for us, Chris. Let's get to a break. On the other side, if I didn't confuse you enough already, you can call in or text and ask any questions. I'll try to answer them. 661-842-5376, 661-842-KERN. There's so much to talk about still. Said we'll read some of your comments. Check the chats in the YouTube as well. Coachella happened over the weekend. Did you watch any of it? Did you watch, Chris? You're a young guy. Did you watch any of Coachella? No?
No.
No, that's a no. No. I wonder how the attendees going into the second weekend feel about this past weekend's performances. We'll break down some of the things that happened there. The Masters took place. Brittany is back in rehab, thank goodness. We'll tell you what to expect for the rest of the week right here on the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. We'll be right back.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. The Ralph Bailey Show, weekdays at 3 p.m.
I know it's the best system on the planet, but
That's all I'll say about that. Yes, I do need the disclaimer up for the upcoming topic. Because the last time I talked about this, and I'll explain, I guess, on the other side of the break why I felt like we needed, because I don't even know if I'm allowed to tell you about it. Really, my boss will probably get mad if I did. But you know me. Let's get ourselves in trouble. Why not? Why not, JR?
24/7.
Oh my goodness. But yes, they're all taking money some sort of way or another. 4 supervisors, the district attorney. If I even began to tell you the dollar amounts, and I could because I have the papers, it's not, and there's a whole connection of people, and I wish I could tell you guys what other people are telling me, but that's where I'll get in trouble. So I'll just stick to the facts right now, as we know them, as they're public information.
Are you looking for a hospital that truly cares for your health and well-being? At Good Samaritan Hospital.
But I'll be at tomorrow's meeting. Best believe that. For real though. Because look at, I got receipts. See the highlights? Look at CEO gave her $1,600. This is Parlier. The CEO gave him $1,600, and somebody loosely associated with him gave him another $1,000, as so did another person. So of the $25,000 raised, $3,600 came from one group, meaning 14% of his donations came from one group. Jeff Flores, same thing. 32. I mean, almost the whole page, the whole $8,000 on Jeff Flores has loose associations to this group. David Couch, yeah, another. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Caught up in the mix because the media is full of dirty tricks. Only God can judge me. Only God can judge me now. Watch out, Tupac. I got to play Tupac when I'm talking mess, Chris. It's like you know me or something. I always get in that mood where I'm like, man, I need some Tupac or some Kendrick right now, boy. Tell you what, 661-842-5376. Welcome back. It is the JR Show. Do we have anything on the comment board before I explain why I felt the need to have the disclaimer up, Chris? Because people were asking in the chat on YouTube, so you feel like you have to have the disclaimer up for this topic, question mark. And I'm like, yeah. I don't even know if I can share the backstory, but I am. Why not, JR? The last time I talked about this, you guys, at least the regulars probably remember. I was saying kind of the same things, and people weren't happy about that, and people threatened some things, and I've made allusion to it here and there. And if that's how they want to come at me, that's fine. But we'll just stick to the facts then. And the facts are what the facts are. If this stays a sole source contract, 3 supervisors are going to have to recuse themselves because of thousands and thousands of dollars in campaign contributions from one group that runs Bakersfield Recovery Services. I'm not going to say what other people are telling me because I can't confirm those allegations. But I'll tell you what I can confirm is when I look at campaign contributions and I go, well, how much money did these people give to certain politicians, and how much money have they actually contributed to over the last 2-3 campaign cycles, 4 to 6 years? And people will go, oh, well, JR, that's normal. People donate all the time. Well, yeah, but there's rules in place so that one group of people or a person doesn't have so much political sway or influence over somebody. That's why we have caps on how much you can donate to somebody in certain political cycles. And when you have a group composed of 3 or 4 people using, and we'll say the tentacles, remember, it's connected to the octopus, to go above those caps by donating. All right, well, I own 5 companies. I'll give as a citizen, and then I'll also give under my 5 businesses. And trust me, I've looked over countless sheets of campaign papers, and it's not something that's very typical, even in this community that's small. You would think, okay, you have your big donors. You do. But If I told you numbers, you would go, wow, that's a lot. Is that normal? Should that be normal? That's all I'm saying. When I look at it and go, wow, Manahara Investments, Acharya Ventures, and the Psychiatric Wellness Center, all operated by the same people that own and or operate Bakersfield Recovery Services, that operate it, have given a little under $18,000 for David Couch to be elected as an assemblyman. When I look at it and go, wow, the same group has given, in loose association to them, $8,000 to Jeff Flores. All of it, 14% of Chris Parlier's contributions. That's all I'm saying. It's facts. It's not me. You get to decipher it for yourselves whether or not you think it means anything. I got to get to a break. On the other side, we'll talk about things that we've learned in this Monday show. Is it okay to be Jesus in pictures? Is it okay to give as much as you want in campaign contributions? Is it okay to still run for governor and be in Congress if you stepped out on your wife? All that. It's the JR Show.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump says the American military has begun a blockade of Iranian ports. Trump's statement on Monday was part of his effort to force Tehran to open the Strait of Hormuz and accept a deal to end the war that's raged for more than 6 weeks. Iran responded with threats on all ports in the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, taking aim at U.S. allied countries. The House Ethics Committee has begun an investigation into whether Democratic Representative Eric Swalwell of California engaged in sexual misconduct toward an employee working under his supervision. The announcement by the panel Monday comes one day after Swalwell suspended his campaign for California governor. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 301 points. The Nasdaq rose 280. The S&P advanced 69. This is SRN News.
Headlines from the KERN Newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. You should be aware of road work.
All my shows should begin with that. I'll probably get in trouble for this, but it's never stopped me before. Right? Oh, well. I'm sure we'll get another letter or something that says, JR was defamation and character assassination. Can't allow him to do this. Just reading campaign contributions. That's all. It's public information. It's fact. I see certain names on campaign contributions and the connections that they have with Bakersfield Recovery Services. Like the same group that runs Bakersfield Recovery Services, the CEO, the COO, and the CFO also run Aspire Counseling, who have given thousands of campaign contributions. They also run the Psychiatric Wellness Center, giving thousands of campaign contributions. People that are on the board for Bakersfield Recovery Services that have since tried to distance themselves from these other entities, and the other jobs that he has, those have given thousands of dollars of campaign contributions. And it's all public information.
On the Tuesday edition of the First Look program, all we got better to discuss on the business. Lois Henry, sjbwater.org. We'll also have news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and also AM 1230 and streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Rappers are monkey flipping with the funky rhythm.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
It's
It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. Check us out online, kernradio.com. Watch us streaming on YouTube right there. Just go over there and search up Kern Radio and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. All that. And you can also find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X. Just look up Kern Radio. You can chime in at any time. 661-842-5376, 661-842-KERN. What have we learned today on the show? Well, we learned that Eric Swalwell has suspended his campaign to become the next governor of California. This as he was leading as far as the Democratic candidates go in the latest poll. And it makes you ask the question, okay, so he suspended his campaign to become governor, but he still is a congressman for the state of California. So there's calls for him to, and now I think that there's some calls getting a little louder for him to even step down as a congressman. But initially the calls were, hey, you can't run for governor anymore. And I kind of get it. I do. Let me explain. If his defense, Mr. Swalwell's, and I don't ever think we have to, whenever there's allegations being made, I think you have to at least give them the seriousness that they are and investigate and look into them. I don't think that we need to automatically tear people down until the end of those investigations. If there is at least a criminal aspect to it, you have to let that legal end of it play out. It's the whole innocent until proven guilty. But I understand why he can't run for governor anymore because, dude, you stepped out on your wife and you're admitting it technically by saying, look, I've made mistakes and I owe an apology to my wife for putting her in the position that I'm putting her in. So he's obviously admitting to some extramarital affair, I would assume. And so I get it in that regards of saying, hey, maybe even if you didn't do anything criminal here and those allegations are false and it does turn out to be consensual, you still do have to explain the part of stepping out on your wife and maybe you shouldn't run for governor. Now, does that, and if it does, I think a lot of people are going to have to get out of Congress. Does that exclude you from being a congressman? Should he also have to step down if he didn't do anything criminal, but at least morally stepping out on his wife? Should he also have to step down from Congress for that? And now that I'm talking it out myself, I'm thinking, well, why isn't it the same moral standard for running for governor that it is representing somebody in Congress? So I think I've convinced myself that, yeah, maybe he should step down as being a congressman. Now, there's some that would say, well, hey, JR, it's between him and his wife. If he didn't do anything criminal, you know, what happens in their household, in their bedroom shouldn't affect whether or not he gets to represent people. I don't know. I can say this also, that it dramatically changes the race for California governor. Because if you didn't believe me before when I told you there's no possible way we get two Republicans at the top of the ticket for California governor, now there is really no possible way. Because before, where the Democrats were calling on Betty Yee and Becerra and Antonio Villagrosa to drop out because they were at 1%, 2%, less than 1%. Eric Swalwell was the leader. He had 12% in the last poll. As far as where does that go? 12% just doesn't know. You can't say, and that's the way I've tried to explain it, is even when these lesser percentage candidates drop out, do you think that those percentages are going to go to a Republican candidate? No, they're going to go to the other Democrats. That's what Democrats do. And so, well, yeah, we didn't have to be, I guess, too worried. Oh, Betty Yee dropped out. Wow, where's her 1% going to go? Is that really going to change the race? Probably not so much. But you take out a guy that had 12%, and if you think that 12% is going to go to the Republican, to either Chad Bianco or Steve Hilton, you're crazy. It's going to go to the other front runners. Tom Steyer, who was at 10, 11%? Katie Porter, I think she was polling at 7, 8%. So you take that 12%, even if you divvy it up between them. Heck, Steyer might be leading in the next poll. Katie Porter might be right on the heels of the Republicans. The idea that we even thought we were going to get 2. Heck, we might not even get 1 now. This is what the Democrats wanted. They wanted less candidates. Now, did they think that it was going to come from the leader, the front runner? Probably not. But will they take it? Heck yeah, they will. Heck yeah, they will. Heck, one Eric Swalwell is equal to all 4, Betty Yee, Antonio Villagrosa, Becerra, and whatever the other guy's name is, Matt Mahan or somebody. I don't even know who the other people are. They're so low. Heck, Swalwell's percentage equals all 5 of them. And do you think somebody that was going to vote for and Betty Yee, I bet you this morning, they were the happiest ones alive. Betty Yee, Villagrosa, and Becerra, they're like, oh man, how do I get that 12? How do I get a portion of that 12% so I can stay in the race? It only helps the Democrats. Even though it beats up one of their own, they don't care. They don't care. Said they will take it. So we learned that you can still be a congressman, but you cannot run for governor in California if accusations of sexual assault are made against you. Anyways, what else did we learn from Pastor Angelo Frazier? He's going to get mad that I'm going to say this. It's okay to portray yourself as Jesus. He didn't say that. Is the disclaimer still up? He didn't say that. I'm just making that part up. He said that he thought it was wrong. He doesn't think that it helps in any kind of way, which I was reassured to hear, because I had been reading earlier people trying to defend Trump's post of depicting himself as he claims a doctor. I'm just a doctor. I'm just a healer. That's all. The fact that I was dressed like Jesus is being depicted, which I didn't even get into it with Pastor Frazier, and I probably should have. I'm not even about depictions of Jesus. So somebody that's depicting themselves is like, I don't like pictures of Jesus. We can get into the whole argument of what did Jesus really look like, and is he the white man of the Caucasian? Is he darker skinned? Was he this? Was he that? That's why I'm like, none of y'all know. I don't need a picture of Jesus in my house. Although I do have a picture of the Last Supper above my dinner table. That one I do like. But like a picture of Jesus himself or Jesus on the cross and all that stuff, we probably shouldn't have those hanging in our house anyways. Much less depicting ourselves as Jesus Christ himself and then trying to sell it off as, well, really, it's just depicting me as a healer. And then other people, like I said, on social media, I heard them make the argument of, well, if Jesus is living inside of us and the Holy Spirit is truly encapsulated in us, and we are walking out our faith every single day, then we too should be a depiction of Jesus. That's all that. What, Chris? He picked up the phone. He's like, don't drag me in this one. But that's a stretch. Come on. Even I'm not even, I mean, please don't defend that. Don't defend that. 661-842-5376, 661-842-KERN. We got a phone call, sir?
We do. 49er Larry.
49er Larry. You're coming to daily, sir. We can call you Daily Larry. What's going on, bud?
Hey, I was just calling to ask if that guy messed around on his wife, he can't run for governor. How did Gavin Newsom get away with it?
I'm just saying. How did a lot of people get away with it? That's what I said. If that excludes you from either being a governor or a congressman, there's a whole lot of people that probably wouldn't be elected right now.
Oh yeah, I won $55 yesterday when McEnroy won the Masters.
Nice.
Good thing Ralph Bailey didn't try to bet on the same guy.
Yeah, he tends to do that sometimes. Did you enjoy it? Was it a good? I didn't even watch it. Was it a good?
I watched it Sunday.
Yeah, was it? Did it come down to the wire? I caught some of it while I was out having lunch with the family. It was my brother-in-law's birthday yesterday, but they had it on the TV in there, and I watched a little bit of it. But at that point,
Yeah,
I think McElroy was actually down 3 strokes or something.
He was like 2 strokes behind that Rose guy.
Yeah, he had bogeyed twice at that point when I had seen it.
Yeah. I was sweating it there for a minute, and then I said, hopefully Ralph didn't bet on the same guy.
No, but now you want $55, Larry, so you can take me out to lunch. I'll take some salties, maybe some Luigi's or something, brother.
Hey, so now you got to be a 49er fan.
Nope. I don't make those kind of bets, Larry. I do not. My family does that sometimes where they're like, hey, I'm a Cowboy and you're a Raider, and if my team makes it before the Super Bowl before your team, you got to switch teams. And I'm like, I don't want any part of those bets. You guys are crazy.
So has Ralph Bailey already started saying how the Lakers going to be the champion again?
They probably, I don't know.
I put a bet down saying Boston was.
There you go. I don't know about that. My nephew's a Boston fan. All right, Larry, is that all you got for me today?
Yeah.
All right, sir.
Talk to you later.
Enjoy the rest of your day, sir. Let's get to a break, Chris. On the other side, we'll tell you what we have lined up for tomorrow's show as another set of meetings will take place. The city council. No, wait. They had theirs last week. And the Measure N people. I'll tell you who we'll discuss Measure N topics with tomorrow. What is it, Monday? Why doesn't it feel like Monday? I got to get into Houchin this week, too. They have some pretty good promotions going on. They're giving away a T-shirt. They always have cool T-shirts. I'm wearing the sweater today, but I got to get in and get the new T-shirt. If you guys want to, get into Houchin with me. I'll make an appointment this week. I'll tell you when. And you can come sit next to me in the chair and bug me for 2 hours, just like I bug you for 2 hours every single day now from 1 to 3 p.m. Despite the threats. We'll get to a break. It's the JR Show. It's Kern Radio. We'll be right back.
Kern Radio. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. The Ralph Bailey Show, weekdays at 3 p.m.
It's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Monday TRBS. Packaged Singh will join us. And of course, Kathy Abernathy will be here. And we'll talk to Nick Ragone as we discuss Rory McIlroy's runaway victory at the Masters. All that and me at 3 right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. Streaming live at kernradio.com. Have a great weekend.
The Ralph Bailey Show, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
So I snuck into Casey's Steakhouse last night, and to my surprise, it was the beginning of happy hour. That's right. Casey's Steakhouse has happy hour for the month of March. You don't want to miss it. Monday through Friday, 2 to 5 p.m. and then again 8 to 10 p.m. All kinds of specials going on. They got steak bites with bell peppers and onions, shrimp cocktails, calamari, garlic parmesan on sourdough, mozzarella sticks, all for happy hour prices. Plus, you can't forget the house wine, the well drinks, all kinds of rotating daily drink specials, all at KC Steakhouse. I was hanging out with Liz last night. She's my favorite bartender. I love her so much. Get in there to see her. Get in for these happy hours. Not only that, head into the Speakeasy right next door Thursday through Saturday. Live music starts at 6:30. It is the Stockyard Speakeasy right next to KC Steakhouse.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Is the volatility of the stock market driving you crazy? Is your retirement account sinking, yet you're getting older and you're starting to worry about, will I have enough for retirement? What about the money in the bank? These banks pay nothing these days. How do we get growth to get to retirement account? It's simple. Move into gold and silver. Want to know how to do it? Listen to my show, Striking Gold, with me, Kenny Michaels.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey. You're listening to the JR Show on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Keep it locked. TRBS coming up at 3.
Welcome back. What is this?
Gorillas.
Who?
Gorillas.
No idea.
The Gorillas?
Oh, the Gorillas. I thought you said the Grillist. I was
No,
like,
no,
huh?
the Gorillas.
The Gorillas, yeah. I'm trying to go see them in concert. I think they're going to be at the Kia Forum with Dell. Probably a good show.
Be a fantastic show.
Yeah. The Gorillas. Welcome back. It's the JR Show. Just breaking now here within the last couple of minutes as I was discussing Eric Swalwell. He put out a statement on his X account in which it is titled Swalwell Statement on Congressional Resignation, meaning now he has also stepped down from Congress. This after threats of him being expelled were starting to float around. They're also going to expel a GOP member, Gonzalez. They believe the votes are there for him too, but Eric Swalwell, kind of seeing the writing on the wall, has decided after last night suspending his campaign for governor this morning now, or this afternoon, also resigning from Congress. His statement reads, quote, "I am deeply sorry to my family, staff, and constituents for mistakes in judgment I've made in my past. I will fight the serious false allegations made against me. However, I must take responsibility and ownership for the mistakes I did make. I am aware of efforts to bring an immediate expulsion vote against me and other members. Expelling anyone in Congress without due process within days of an allegation being made is wrong, but it's also wrong for my constituents to have me distracted from my duties. Therefore, I plan to resign my seat in Congress. I will work with my staff in the coming days to ensure they are able, in my absence, to serve the needs of the good people of the 14th Congressional District." Wow. Talk about going from being on the verge of becoming the next governor of California and what that could potentially do for even your future political life. I mean, we see Gavin Newsom, who potentially could be a candidate for the president of the United States. And so to see Congressman Eric Swalwell go from being the potential next governor of California to nothing. He has, I mean, I don't want to say he's nothing, but he has no political future whatsoever. He has stepped down from being a candidate for governor, and now he has stepped down or is stepping down from Congress, still while maintaining his innocence and saying these are false accusations. A former staffer accusing him of not once but twice taking advantage of her, claiming they were intoxicated on both nights. She doesn't remember how the night ended, just that she had woke up in a hotel room on 2 different occasions, 5 years apart from each other, mind you. Which leads to a whole host of questions. And I hate to be the person that goes, oh, well, you're going to question the accuser? Well, I think we have to at least look into all of the allegations and don't just rush to judgment on both sides. There's many reasons why many people do many things that I could never understand, or I would never do, or that I couldn't explain. He went from potentially being the next to over the weekend not even being a congressman anymore. And what it means, I hate to just, now what about the governor race? But as a resident of California and just somebody that is an observer of local and state politics and seeing how this is going to affect the governor's race, it's just, I don't think he can even come out and endorse. I wouldn't want him to endorse me. Like if I'm one of the other California candidates, right? Obviously you want his 12% that he was polling at. You want those people to come to you. But how do you do that without, one, upsetting them? Because there's still people that are going to support him, right? There's people that are going to say, hey, look, maybe he screwed up. He's at least admitting and taking ownership of that part of it, of saying, because I'm guessing the evidence is there. If there's text messages and Snapchats and all these correspondence back and forth, I would assume that there's some sort of evidence there that something did take place. So he's admitting at least, yeah, I screwed up. I made a mistake. And without saying it, at least I'm interpreting it as he stepped out on his wife. That's why he's apologizing to her. But just to take down a person like it would, I mean, I don't know. Is it fair? He said, look, it ain't right. They were going to expel me. They were going to kick me out of Congress. They were already gathering up the votes. And they probably had him. And again, I go back to the question I guess I asked. If he did, even if we go, okay, innocent till proven guilty on the criminal allegations, what level of morality, I guess, or do we expect from our elected officials in terms of stepping out on their marriage? And how does that look as far as if they can't make the good judgment on not being able to stay true and committed to their wife, who knows what other dumb judgments they're going to make in terms of being a representative and a leader of constituents. I mean, I'm all for, hey, your private life is your private life. Trust me, as somebody that has to deal lightweight with the public eye and realizing that, JR, when you're out, you can't always just act a knucklehead. There's people that, might recognize you and see you. And So I'm all about trying to keep your private life. But once you, I guess, get to a certain point, you have to go, if they're making those kinds of judgments in their private life, what kind of judgments are they willing to make in other areas of their life that may affect me somehow as a constituent? I don't know. I'll let you guys figure that out. I just got to get out of here for the day. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to have Attorney Clayton Campbell. Not only is he attorney, but he is a member of the Measure N Oversight Committee. They had a meeting last Thursday in which the department heads from the city of Bakersfield came before them, requesting all sorts of kinds of funds totaling up to $115 million or so. We'll talk tomorrow with Clayton Campbell, just what they are asking for and his thoughts on them. Up next is the Ralph Bailey Show. It's a Monday, so Kathy Abernathy will stop by. She was on 17, I believe, KGET, discussing the Swalwell, so they'll have plenty to talk about as far as politics go. Hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow at 1. This is the JR Show. Lily, Dad loves you.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN, 96.1 FM, K241CI Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
And we'll also discuss tomorrow's 9 a.m. Supervisors meeting. Be good, y'all.
Trump says the American military blockade of Iranian ports has begun. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
The block